Okay, so there have been more new developments that have happened since yesterday, February 1st. We will get into those. They will be sprinkled throughout the rest of the show. Marilyn Manson himself has come out against these allegations and said his piece, and then a ton of more shit has happened. So
what the fuck happened?
what's going on, everybody? This is Trendkill Radio, a rock news show about all things rock, except for when it's not. Brought to you by the Foundry Concert Club right here in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm your host, Sean Ryan. With me, we have the host of Trendkill Quickie, Candy. She's here today because we have a bit of breaking news right now, but by the time you see it, it probably won't be fucking breaking news anymore. But, Marilyn Manson is in a lot of fucking trouble. Evan Rachel Wood, the former girlfriend of Marilyn Manson back in the early 2000s. She's an actress known for Westworld and that Beatles movie, I think. She came out today and said that her abuser, who has long been speculated as being Marilyn Manson, is exactly Marilyn Manson. Now, previously, KJ and I, we did a story on this. It kind of started going through the news a little bit, and, you know, there was a, she met in front of, like, Congress to explain that she was, you know, abused and wanted to, like, get an act in California signed so, like, further things like this can't happen anymore. And she detailed something about, you know, her abuser back in the early 2000s, but she wouldn't name names. She didn't say who it was. Today, February 1st, she came out and said, quote, "The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known to the world as Marilyn Manson."
She goes on to say, and quote, "He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission. I am done living in fear of retaliation, slander, or blackmail. I'm here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives. I stand with the many victims who will no longer be silent."
Yeah, and this isn't a new kind of development in Hollywood. We've seen this so many times, and a lot of people, a lot of women that started the whole hashtag #MeToo thing, they have been afraid to come out in fear of, you know, losing jobs, being physically hurt again, lots of terrible things. So they have stayed silent for a very long time, and she was afraid for her physical and mental health. And that is the reason why she did not name Marilyn Manson for many a year, because this meeting in front of Congress that she had, I think that took place in like 2018, 17 or 18?
It's 2018.
And then it resurfaced last summer in 2020, and then we covered it a few months ago, and we couldn't, you know, we got roasted for that. The episode that Chris Jones and I did, we got roasted for that because everyone's, you know, they were beating down the door to say, oh, it's Marilyn Manson, but I couldn't fucking accuse someone that wasn't accused. Let's say it wasn't him, then I would get into trouble. I'd be like, then you're liable. Then that's like that's a thing that you can get sued for. So I couldn't fucking say it. You know, I couldn't say it was Marilyn Manson whether we believed it or not. She did not name the accuser, so I can't go on the World Wide Web and go and say that. People.
All right, and to kind of further things past, you know, Evan Rachel Woods, there were actually several other women that actually spoke out today as well to kind of reiterate what Evan Rachel Woods said her experience was as far as being abused by Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, Variety, I believe, came out and found a couple of women that stand with Evan Rachel Wood.
They've each kind of given their own statements and just brief experiences of the abuse that they've dealt with during their period of time interacting with Marilyn Manson as well, too.
So a lot of these stories, they coincide with Evan Rachel Wood at different timelines in the 2000s. And a lot of these women, they've said it's all basically the same story. Like, this charming, funny, nice guy. He's, you know, picked me up when I was down, and it was us against the world, and then mentally just beat them down little by little until they felt like they were absolutely worthless. And that was basically the same story that keeps on spanning across these 5 women, and I'm sure we're going to probably see and hear more. And a lot of them are saying, you know, this guy is just like a hopeless drug addict, and, you know, it's his mind fucking games that he would do because he's just fucked up on drugs all the time, that he would just screw with these people and just constantly just, it's like a poke. It's like, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching, like, nonstop. I know. For those of you that have read these things about Marilyn Manson, physically they did get way worse than what I just showed you, but I'm just using that as a mental example.
One of the accusers, actually, Sarah McNeely, actually had her own statement, and it's kind of gruesome, but I'm going to go with it anyway. She says, quote, "I was emotionally abused, terrorized, and scarred. I was locked in rooms when I was bad, sometimes forced to listen to him entertaining other women, kept away from certain friends, or if I didn't, he would threaten to come after them. I was told stories of others who tried to tell their story and their pets ended up dead. I wasn't allowed to go near other artists working on the same set," end quote.
Yeah, and then further development in this story, like midway through the day. I saw this early on in the morning, then midway through the day, his former keyboard tech, and then later became a personal assistant. His name was Dan Cleary. He goes on to say, quote, "I worked directly with Marilyn Manson in 2007 through 2008 through his touring band when Evan Rachel Wood was with him. She would tour with us the entire time over the course of 1 year, and he turned her into a different person. He broke her. I didn't totally realize until later in life. I then started working for him as his personal assistant in 2014 and 2015. I saw firsthand over and over him being abusive and violent boyfriend to his girlfriend Lindsay." It goes on, and he said... Dan had said that, I mean, one of the only reasons why he didn't really speak out is he didn't notice, like, he noticed it, but it didn't seem that fucked up at the time. It was more a hindsight thing. And then when Dan's mother died, Marilyn Manson paid for him for a full week and then flew him out on his dime to go grieve and do his thing.
And then still paid him for his work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like, I have to thank him for that, even though he's like... He's this fucking bad dude that did these awful things. And he didn't speak out against it because just like what you'll hear in a lot of the hashtag #MeToo stories was, I didn't say anything because it could fuck up my job. A lot of people, it's the code. It's the Hollywood code. Like, don't say anything because if you get pegged as a bad apple or a pain in the ass or someone that talks shit, you're not getting hired anymore. And that's exactly what happened to so many women with the whole Louis C.K. story, the Harvey Weinstein, all of this and that.
So yeah, this isn't exactly a new thing coming from Dan Cleary either. Back September of 2020, he actually did take to Twitter standing in defense of Evan Rachel Wood. And here's his quote from September 12th of last year. He says, quote, "Those of us that stayed quiet do it because we were making a living. And it's hard to find work in music if you can't keep your mouth shut. But enough is enough. His fans will be angry and not believe it because they don't want to. I understand that. I'm sorry to them, but it's true."
Yeah, and that's a real thing. I mean, a lot of people, when hashtag #MeToo was really big, like 3 years ago, people were going, why didn't anyone say anything? Because you get kicked out of fucking Hollywood. That's why. And if that's your dream, if that's what you've been working your whole life to be an actor, an actress, a director or something like that, it's an unspoken rule that you gotta just shut the fuck up. And it's fucked up. That's screwed up. I mean, I'm not denying that, but those are the rules, man. And now to the third part of this saga. Marilyn Manson has been dumped by his label, Loma Vista Recordings. Del Boca Vista.
Literally all of these things happen within a 12-hour course.
Yeah, dropped. So his name has been dropped. Loma, they did his last record and the one before that, and they have taken him off the list,
as well as all of his merch too that they were also sponsoring, which didn't just include CDs, cassettes, records.
A statement by Loma Vista Recordings has said, quote, "In light of today's disturbing allegations by Evan Rachel Wood and other women naming Marilyn Manson as their abuser, Loma Vista will cease to further promote his current album effective immediately. Due to these concerning developments, we have also decided not to work with Marilyn Manson on any future projects," end quote. And not only has his label dropped him, but the Starz Network show American Gods and Shudder original Creep Show have dropped him from their cast, along with his agency, CAA, which also hosts Evan Rachel Wood as a fellow colleague, has dropped his ass. He is no more. Marilyn hasn't said a thing. His publicist hasn't said shit. That is until late last night, where he did surprisingly come out and say something so soon, and went on record to say on Instagram with all comments turned off, quote, Obviously, my art and my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Regardless of how and why, others are now choosing to misrepresent the past. That is the truth. End quote. Marilyn Manson. So things aren't looking good, but I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's not good. It's not good. Bad Marilyn.
Just don't be a scumbag.
I know. It's a shame because there's a lot of musicians and actors and stuff and that I really like, and then you find out they do these horrendous things.
And it makes it really hard to, even be able to listen to them again or see them again. And what I find kind of weird about this is, like, him and Johnny Depp are such close friends, and with the Johnny Depp allegations, nobody wanted to believe Johnny that he didn't do the shit. And then it came out that he was actually the victim. And so I think a lot of us who are like diehard Marilyn Manson fans, we kind of wanted to be in his corner because of that. But you know what? Be damned. So yeah, I mean, I really did want to believe Marilyn Manson, especially since, Rose McGowan being like one of his most prominent, girlfriends, and she's a woman's rights activist in so many ways. And she never said anything, so I guess I kind of like held out hope.
Yeah, Rose has changed her story, and she's come out against Marilyn as well.
And being that, Evan Rachel Wood never named him, she was even asked about him once, and she said, no, it's not him. I really held out hope that it wasn't him.
And if you are a huge fan of Marilyn Manson and want to defend him to the death, I mean, honestly, these are allegations. There are no police reports. Dude, I don't know. It's believe whatever you want. I mean, it's pretty damning evidence, and we're not going to say either way which side we're on this, but it's not good either way. It's not good either way. No, it's bad. I just heard like your White Claw just go, it went. Grr.
Gotta soothe the throat and cup the bulls.
All right, this has gone on for far too long. Okay, can't work with you. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please subscribe, hit your notifications, like us on Facebook and Instagram, especially Instagram. I want to thank Candy for filling in. We needed a woman's touch on this because this is a very sensitive topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please just subscribe to this channel, and you can find her episodes and my episodes, and then we can be done with this. All right, thank you guys so much. I'm Sean Ryan.
I'm Candy.
And this is Trend Kill Radio.